Good evening and welcome to Look North. A music teacher who admitted sexually assaulting children while they were drugged has been sentenced to 8 years in prison. Geoffrey Kitchen from Scarborough pleaded guilty to a range of assaults on boys aged between 11 and 15. The judge at York Crown Court said it was the worst case of depravity he'd ever had to deal with.
Geoffrey Kitchen is a sadomasochistic paedophile who's been abusing young boys for at least 16 years. As a well-known music teacher, he gained the trust of pupils before introducing them to his own perverse sexual preferences. In court today, Kitchen wept as the details of what he'd done emerged. While supposedly giving music lessons at his flat, he'd made the boys dress up in tight sports clothes and tied them up. He gave them the drug amyl nitrate while abusing them in ways I can't repeat. And this went on week after week. Dozens of Scarborough families were deceived by Kitchen. He ran a highly regarded children's orchestra, but it's now clear he used it as a cover to target the vulnerable.
Everyone deals with things differently. We've spoke to families who are still, and will be for quite a number of years, traumatised by what's happened. Others have sought help from professional people and will probably continue to have to do so.
Kitchen's shocking abuse of trust only came to court at all because one boy finally went to the police.
It shows a magnificent amount of courage to come forward and actually say that these things have happened to you. And as far as North Yorkshire Police are concerned, we applaud every single one of these people, these young people who've come forward, and without them there wouldn't have been a case today.
In his defence, Kitchen's barrister said he was full of remorse and hadn't meant to harm the boys. He'd wanted to show love and be loved. But sentencing him to 8 years in jail, Judge Paul Hoffman said that was a sign of his perverted thinking. He said, "Judges are used to hearing about the sordid side of life, but your depravity far exceeds anything I've come across before." The police team left satisfied that justice has been done in this case, but they warn that abuse goes on and children and parents must be vigilant in the light of some abusers' cunning.
A man's been charged with the murder of an 82-year-old woman in Grimsby. A post-mortem's revealed a neck injury caused Mabel Whitelam's death at a sheltered accommodation complex on Albion Street on Wednesday. 28-year-old Wayne Franks from Grimsby will appear before magistrates tomorrow. It's been another bad day for Chorus. The chief executive of the steel group has resigned in the wake of losses which threaten thousands of jobs at the company. Tony Pedder is in line to receive a pay offer of more than £500,000. The firm has announced losses of over £450 million and confirmed that it will have to cut capacity in the UK. Chorus, which employs 4,000 people in Scunthorpe, says 3,000 UK jobs will have to be cut. The bad news has left people in Scunthorpe worried about the future.
Well, we've got our fingers crossed. If it's our good fortune, it's going to be somebody else's bad fortune, and we can just keep our fingers crossed that we're a reasonably good plant.
You know, and I think the government ought to start stepping in a little bit and sort of sorting their own problems out here instead of looking at other people's problems abroad.
Unfortunately, we've only just taken over this business in the last few months, and obviously, you know, we couldn't project this happening, so it's going to affect us greatly.
A BBC investigation has revealed what some travellers claim is dangerous overcrowding on commuter trains. Some passengers say congestion is so bad that people are fainting. Our transport correspondent Alan Whitehouse has been on board the Leeds to Selby train and has this exclusive report.
Live on the 1743 to Selby and Hull. Commuters making their way home from jobs in Leeds say conditions are like this 5 days a week. Some passengers even squash themselves into the area intended for bikes, just to make sure they get on board.
Yesterday when we were on the train, I think I found about 30 to 40 people in one carriage stood. So it was pretty bad.
You're spending £1,000 a year?
I buy 2 season tickets a year, yeah. Just my wife and myself. We're usually sat by the toilets on the pin. We're in the bicycle store. It's fairly normal.
It's a peak time train, but there are only 2 carriages. Arriva Trains agree there's a problem, but say passengers have a choice of other services with seats to spare.
What we've got to do is to optimise the resources that we've got available to run all of the services that the Strategic Rail Authority and the Passenger Transport Executives want. And over a 15-minute period from 5:45 to 6 o'clock, we've got capacity to take everybody back to Selby, but not always in a fast train.
The problem is a shortage of trains, and that's an issue that's not going to be resolved quickly.
Rugby League now, and it's still the trophy they all want to win, the Powergen Challenge Cup. It's quarter-final weekend and one tie stands out, Hull against Leeds Rhinos. Hull are trying to win the trophy for the first time since 1982, but their performance last week against the London Broncos sapped their confidence. They were beaten twice last year by Leeds at Headingley, but Hull's coach sees that as motivation.
We don't want to create a phobia, we don't want to create this obsession about Leeds at Headingley, but somewhere along the line we're going to break the barrier down, because we're a club that tends to do that. We tend to sort of be able to overcome obstacles, and I'd like to think it could be Sunday.
Time now for a quick look at the weather. Well, tonight it'll be dry with clear periods, minimum temperature of -1 Celsius. Tomorrow it'll be fine and dry with spells of sunshine, maximum temperature 11 Celsius, that's 52 Fahrenheit. And that's it from me for this evening. From all of us here at Look North, good night.